Yeah.
You want to like them, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, and we are excited to be on the airwaves hot and live like we always are, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. and again at 11 a.m. on replay. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Yes, and all of that is true. And the man on the other microphone, he is the greatest patriot I have ever known, and that would be...
Yeah, it's your boy, Chris America, coming to you live from Cut and Shoot, Texas. Yes, we are out here. We're cutting, we're shooting, we're in Texas. And Loudbeard and Golden Ghost, if you're there, I am excited. I'm sorry, I'm going to just take over the show right now. I am excited that this weekend is the first round of the college football playoffs. We have 8 solid teams in there, and I can't believe that Christmas comes early when college football season goes into playoff mode, and we are in the first round of the college football playoffs. So many exciting matchups to go over this weekend. I can't wait. I can't believe there are any college football fans out there who used to not want an expanded college football playoff, because now we have one, and it's an exciting weekend. Remember when we used to not have anything going on the weekend before Christmas?
Cricket. Oh, man. What are you trying to do to us, Chris America?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about? We have a college football playoff this weekend, don't we?
We do not. I mean,
oh my God.
I didn't want to burst his bubble. Let him keep going.
That's
you just so, entertain them, huh?
That's so depressing.
Chris America, are you not entertained?
Yes.
Chris America isn't entertained at all right now.
Wait. Golden Ghost, why are you here?
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Obviously, I'm here to entertain Chris because he's out of the loop in some things, man. What's wrong, bro? You want college football playoffs right now?
I mean, yes. Doesn't everybody want college football playoffs? This is like, hey, do you want bacon on your cheeseburger? Yes. Done. Easy decision. I don't know what there is to argue about. Do you want college football playoffs this weekend? Yes. Done. Yeah. What are we arguing about anymore? I don't even understand, guys.
I hear you.
Yeah, I really don't either, man. I'm with you. Paul Feinbaum tweeted yesterday, should we have a CFP playoff expansion? Let me know your thoughts. Like, come on, Paul Feinbaum. You actually think there's people out there that don't want this? And then there was a couple guys that tweeted, yeah, we don't want that. One was a Notre Dame fan. He's like, I don't think it would be fair if there was automatic qualifiers for conference champions. Well, that's because you're a Notre Dame fan and you don't have a conference championship. Come on, man. Like everybody, let's say 95% of the world, I would say, or of college football fans want an expanded playoff. That is, to me, is a realistic number. 95% of fans, I would say, would want an expanded playoff. Do you guys agree with that number?
95 might be a little high. It might be a little high. 95 is a little high, man.
You think so? What number would you put on it? How much? What percentage would you put on it?
I still think it's some traditionalists out there that love to argue about standings and everything. So I'm going to say it at 75. 75% of people want a college football playoff. There's still people out there that kind of like it the way it is. Wouldn't mind going back to the old BCS days.
Listen, I've broken down. I've done an extensive survey of every single college football fan. I found out that 71.37% of all college football fans want a college football playoff. 20% of them are Bama fans. They don't want a college football playoff because it's harder. And 10% of other college football fans have been so convinced in the con job of saying, no, I don't want a college football playoff, even though 100% of college football fans, there's not a single one on this entire God bless America earth that would say, no, if we had a first-round college football playoff this weekend, I would hate it. I would rather not have college football playoffs this weekend. I don't know a single one, except for maybe, like you guys said, a few of the old head traditionalists who, for their entire lives, do everything the same. They get up, they brush their teeth with the same toothpaste they've had since 1945. They put on the same brand of shoes since 1945. They wear the same colored shirt. Everything in their lives is exactly the same, and they hate change.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there, and like you said, Mac, those traditionalists, those are those robots, those people with that same repetitive routine day in and day out. They don't want change. People are adverse to change, but change has made this country great. We are patriots here at Scout Team Sports. We love America. We are open to change. We're okay if something is a little bit different. We don't want to hold things down because they're different. We want to be open, and we want to believe that there can be a better way of doing things. And the college football playoff expansion is number one priority right now for making college football great again. And I think that is what our stance needs to be. And whether it's 75% or 95%, it's somewhere in between of that. We know that the fans want it. We know that if we put it right now on a vote, that it would pass. It's like medical marijuana. Some people are afraid of it. 75% of people want to embrace it. We're the medical marijuana of college football playoff expansion. Make it happen. It's coming for you, and it's coming hot and live, and eventually everybody will fall in suit. But right now, we just have to fight all of those old, crotchety, old-school traditionalists that don't want anything to change.
You know, Loudbeard, I thought
Man, it is
I was
early.
waiting. I was waiting for Mac to say something, but the
What
medical
do you
marijuana-
think I'm going to say? Wait.
He's
What do
shy.
you think I'm going to say?
Don't
What
be
do you think
so
I'm going
shy.
to say?
You were taking a deep breath like you were going to say something.
You're
so I
like,
was kind of giving you the floor.
No, I was okay. No.
Anyways,
Yeah.
So-
you're right.
the medical marijuana comparison is great because there are so many fears that have just been spewed about medical marijuana. Like, oh my God, kids are going to be getting high everywhere, and people are going to be crashing their cars, and they're going to be stoned out of their mind, and all these other like terrible things are going to happen. The world's going to fall apart if we pass medical marijuana, which none of them are really true. Will there be some kids smoking weed? Probably. Will there be some car crashes? Yeah, but no more than usual. And you go to the college football side, it's like, oh my God, it's going to ruin the regular season. You mean the regular season that has like 5 to 6 non-competitive games between two teams where the score is above a 25 to 30 point win? You mean those games? Like, oh my God, let's not ruin those. It's just so many dumb, like, oh my God, the college football is about money and they're not going to make money. Wait, so you're telling me we're going to add more fan bases all across the country of 320 plus million people, and that's going to create less viewership and less money?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes
and
a lot
adding
of sense.
additional games too. Yeah, those
Adding
games aren't
additional
going to make extra money.
competitive games because
Right.
What do you want? Do you want Ohio State versus Georgia in the playoffs, or do you want Georgia versus UMass and Ohio versus
I
Toledo?
don't know. I kind of like UMass. They have a little
Yep.
bit of a tenacity to them.
They
like
did just
a-
hire.
their,
They did
their
just hire a
branded
Florida State
UMass.
legend.
Ooh,
Who's that?
Florida State legend.
They fired.
Yeah,
Didn't they
they hired-
hire the offensive coordinator?
Oh yeah. He ain't no legend, but yeah,
He's a legend to me.
I hate you so much. Oh man!
As
Nah,
long
dude,
as he
I
had
mean,
something to do with that offensive line, you can. Yeah, you
But
call him legend
the main-
forever.
he can
The
go.
main point is both medical marijuana and college football playoffs, do they come with some slight differences and some slight maybe things that we won't like? Sure, maybe. But the overall general goodness it will bring to the world and everything else outweighs the tiny little bads that you're so afraid of. And really, I think what it boils down to is the Paul Feinbaums of the world know that if Alabama and other SEC teams have to actually go round for round for round to make it to a championship game, their chances are dwindled. And every single league that has a playoff proves that playoffs make it harder to win championships.
Are we going with the top 8 or top 16 again? Which one?
I mean, I would prefer 16, but I think right now it's baby steps. I think 8 is where the first expansion would go. And I did say first expansion.
I think
Yeah,
I
going
think
I
later
think
on down
gotta
the
go big or
road
go
it'll
home.
expand further.
no. I think you got to go big or go home. I think you got to go 16 right off.
Oh, I
the bat,
agree
man.
too, but it's kind of like to get to recreational marijuana being legal, you have to go through the medical marijuana side.
That's exactly what you got to do.
Not
Like,
the
you-
Mexican cartels.
I mean, you got some
Gotcha.
states like Colorado and California that they don't care. But the other 48 states, maybe 45 states are so stuck that they're like, no, I don't agree. Well, maybe we'll just try it out on a medical basis, and let's just see if that works. And you have to like scratch and bite and kick and crawl until you finally get to just like one step further, and that's what it'll be with college football playoffs. 8 to me would be a huge victory. You need to go for 16, but I think getting to 8 would be a huge accomplishment. And everybody's talking about it right now. I mean, when you see all the social media, you see all the talking heads, everybody right now is the best time to talk about it. Like Chris America brought up, why don't we have college football this weekend? Everybody could be sitting watching college football, enjoying their weekend, having a great time. And we do have FCS. I'm not going to say we don't have college football, but who wants to watch that, right? Like, they want to watch real college football, meaningful games, and this weekend would be a great weekend to watch college football. Bring us a real competitive tournament. That's what we want. We want a tournament. I'm all in. I'm all in. Go 16.
So, and the reason I say 16 is because we're gonna get rid of all those unnecessary bowl games, right? Just throwing it out there.
No,
I say we just
they're gonna
incorporate
keep bowl
both.
games.
I say you just incorporate the bowl games in with the playoffs. I don't know
Yeah.
why you don't just do that. Like, you have the stadiums, you have people ready to put on a game for you. Why not do that? You know, maybe if you go 16, then you can start off a weekend of home and homes. Like, you know, hey, you're the 16th seed, you got to go play Alabama and Tuscaloosa. You're the 14th seed, you got to go play Clemson and Clemson. That kind of deal.
All right, cool. I'm down for it. Let's go. Burn it down. Hashtag burn it down.
How much money are these schools going to make by having a playoff game in their stadium? Something that's never happened before. Do you think the Alabama fans in Tuscaloosa would go nuts and the whole entire state would just converge on Tuscaloosa, boosting that economy more than it's ever been if there was a round 1 playoff game this weekend?
I mean, Alabama's going to go to games regardless, but yeah.
I'm talking about but just for the
That-
Tuscaloosa area. Like, it being in Atlanta or Phoenix helps out Tuscaloosa nothing. Like, businesses don't make money when Alabama is in a bowl game somewhere.
I hear you. It can be done. It can be done.
Oh, it
I
can
agree
be
with
done.
you.
People who say that it can't is dumb. No, there's not a can't. It's that they don't want to.
I agree, man. I completely agree.
Because
Absolutely.
again, I think the higher brands, the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Floridas, the USCs even, they know that the easiest way for them to ever get a championship is to go with the current model, is to take on their weak schedule in the regular season, try to go undefeated, and then they automatically make it to the Final Four.
Absolutely. I'm down with you, man. Let's go. Let's do it. We should, you know what? For next year, we should make our own playoff bracket. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should make our own playoff bracket and like broadcast and see exactly how it will look. You know what I'm saying? Just something that people can
How
look
big
at
are
and
you
say,
going
oh,
on the playoff
that
bracket?
could be interesting. We'll go 16. We'll still go 16.
Okay, a lot of
And
people
we'll
with the
work- and we'll-
hypothetical 8 have it out there, and they've got, and this is pretty standard. I mean, we could go 16, we could go 64 if you wanted to. It wouldn't be a problem. But if you just went 8, you go Alabama, Washington. You go SEC champ versus the Pac-12 champ. You go Georgia versus Oklahoma. So Georgia gets the at-large. Oklahoma gets the big. It has the Big 12. You got Notre Dame as an at-large against Ohio State as the Big 10 champion, and then you got Clemson versus UCF. So UCF represents the group of 5, and Clemson represents the ACC. And you have a decent 8-team playoff. Everybody's saying, like, this makes so much sense. This is all the talking heads. There's not a lot of people opposed to an 8-team playoff. It's just making all the moves to, like, agree to this with all the different bodies of government here in the college football world. The different conferences, everybody having to agree is hard, but I think they're getting to the point where they agree. And Chris America, I disagree with Ohio State. I think they're getting to the point where they're sick and tired of this because they've gotten left out 2 years in a row. And not that they've had a great year this year, but why would they not have an opportunity for a title when they've only had one loss and they won their championship game and they're in the Big Ten? Why would they not have a shot?
I mean, they got left out 2 years in a row, but remember, they started this hype 3 years ago when they got in without winning a conference championship. So they can't talk too much trash. They had their opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but getting left out once is too many times. Like, these teams that have had these opportunities, with TCU and Baylor a few years ago, should have gotten an opportunity. There's so many teams that you can list that get left out, especially if they're not a big brand. But then when the big brands even get left out, that's when you know that there's an issue. And if we did a 16-team tournament, I mean, we would have those 8 teams that I listed, our top 8. But then you'd start getting into some interesting teams that get in there. Florida would be in the mix, obviously. Chris America being a Gators fan, I'm sure you would like to see Florida go out there and mix it up with one of these teams.
I'd love to see Felipe Franks.
Washington State, you get Mike Leach out there who would be finally saying, yes, there is an actual playoff after he's been preaching this for years and years and years. You would get a lot of good, not great talent from from teams 9 to 16, but anybody that could give it a shot. Somebody could get hot and make a run. It's like when Green Bay was a wild card team years and years ago with Aaron Rodgers, and they actually made it all the way and won the Super Bowl. That's what could happen. You never know.
I hear you. I'm all right with it. Anything can happen on any given Sunday, any given Saturday. So I agree. Expand the playoffs. Let them put it on the field. That's the only way to solve this problem. Let them play it on the field.
Yeah, and
you don't need
my
those
whole
talking
point
heads and everything.
I think even though Ohio State's upset they're left out, they sort of understand, like, okay, we had 2 losses this year. That's sort of on us. I think they know, though, if they go undefeated, they're an automatic number 4 team. It doesn't matter. Like, Ohio State, if they go undefeated, they'll always be in. If they have 1 loss, then they're in consideration, like they were 2 or 3 years ago. But
they only had 1 loss.
My whole
this year,
point
right?
is,
They only had 1 loss this year.
No, 2 losses. They lost to who did they lose? They lost to Purdue, and then they got blown out. No, they got. Did they? Yeah, they only had 1 loss last year.
Yeah, they almost lost to Maryland. We almost counted it as a loss because it was like an ugly game.
It seemed like a loss. I remember last year was 2 losses. This year was 1 loss. But my whole point was, I tried looking up how many times Kentucky and Duke have been a number 1 overall seed or just a number 1 seed in the tournament, which would make them a top 4 team in the tournament. And I couldn't find that answer. But I know it feels like they're a 1 seed like every other year or every other 3 years. So it's been probably 20 to 30 times in the whole history of these 2 programs that they've been a 1 seed. Do you think they would have more championships if there were only a 4-team tournament and you just have to get in the Final 4 that way? The answer is yes. If Duke and Kentucky only have to win 2 games to win a championship and they just have to make it to the Final 4 by being selected by a committee, they would have so many more championships. But when you have to win 7 games, that weeds them out every single year.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Preaching to the choir.
We're preaching to the choir, man. We are preaching
to
the choir.
No, I'm preaching to the fans of our show, those ones that are like, should I like the playoffs or not like the playoffs? Listen, I don't care what your decision is. I'm going to ask you a simple question. We've already asked it 5 times on the show. Would you love it if there was college football this weekend? And then if you say yes, start pushing for an expanded playoff. That's it. Ignore everything else. Be selfish. Put some bacon on your hamburger.
Put some bacon on that burger, baby.
Everybody likes a little bacon. Bacon makes everything better.
Fresh bacon.
Bacon.
All right,
wait,
gentlemen.
wait. According to Peter, we shouldn't say bacon, though. It was bring home the bagels.
I'll bring
wanna
home
put-
the bagels. Put bagels
wanna
on
put a
your
bagel
burger.
on a
That
burger?
sounds awful.
I really like how the Golden Ghost has remembered every PETA reference that you mentioned the other. That was a week ago, and he's still bringing every single
man.
one of them up.
Cause it works, man.
How
It
much
just
do you
works.
think? How much do you think a PETA member loses their minds when they see bacon on a burger?
Ooh, yeah.
That's double
when they
whammy
see
right
a
there.
burger?
That's
Yeah,
double whammy.
yeah. They probably go a little crazy.
Double homicide.
Mm.
Next.
That is double.
Do you think
homicide.
all those guys are like really vegetarian? They don't eat. No,
Yes.
We're going down a rabbit hole. Don't
Yes.
don't go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Have you
think
met a
they're
PETA
all
member?
vegetarian?
I think there might
Yes.
be
no,
some.
I've never met one.
No. Well, I haven't met I've never met anybody that says I'm a PETA member, but I've met a few vegans out there, and I do think, especially in PETA's like any other religion, though, where you have people that say they're for the cause, but in the closet, like in the dark alleys and stuff, or in their own homes when they're by themselves, I'm sure there's some that pull out a good cheeseburger and just go to town on it.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. I mean, every once in a while you got to splurge. I mean, there's the diehards that'll always be diehards, but you know those fringe people, they jump in the closet, eat a nice cheeseburger.
Temptation, man.
It is temptation. We're talking college football. I wanted to. This is a couple days old, but I'm going to bring this up real quick. So Kyler Murray is the best player in college football. Of course, we base that off the Heisman and all that. There's a couple stories that floated out about this guy. One, he had tweets when he was like 13 or 14 years old because some homophobic terms he used on Twitter or Instagram, something like that. Man, do you think these reporters are starting to get a little ridiculous when they get these tweets, they sit on them, and they're just waiting for this guy to be like at the height of his, like, hey, here's the Heisman Trophy. Oh, yes, finally. And then they're like, look what he tweeted when he was 13 years old. Check out this story. Clickbait, clickbait. Do you think we've gotten a little crazy as a society where we're just looking at ways to just knock these young men down?
Yes.
I mean, the reporter that held on to that story all the way to that point is a jackass. I mean, yeah, seriously. Like, how could you hold on to that story on the biggest night of the young man's life and then post it? You know what I'm saying? Like, something's wrong with us if that's what newsworthy is, you know? Like, he was 14, 15 years old? Mm-hmm. Do you know the dumb stuff we used to do at 14, 15 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and now they got Twitter, so now it's all on display. Like, they do stupid stuff and then they tweet about it. So I'm gonna say I'm not holding it against them because I can vaguely remember the stuff I used to do. And the guy who posted the story, the guy who sat on the story this whole time because he knew about it 6 months ago, he had to. He needs to be fired. Seriously, it's clickbait. It's TMZ worthy. That's why I don't watch that show, and it's not relevant. It's not relevant in the young man's life today. You know.
What about when Laramie Tunsil had the gas mask that he was smoking out of come out on draft day? What about
but
that?
I think that was more like I think it was like his dad or something weird like that released that. That, like, I don't know, it was somebody related to him. It wasn't necessarily the media had it and held on to it for days. Where I think with this whole Kyler Murray thing, this was
kind of
just
like Josh
somebody,
Allen on draft day.
Josh Allen too. This is just
Yep.
something where I guess there's like search software where you can just type in keywords into your Twitter and it just finds them easily to where you say, okay, well, look there, he said that word and he said this word, but a couple of things I would say on it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That, or they have actual people doing this. You know, they pay people to go back and track this stuff down. It's crazy. Your past makes you who you are, but it doesn't actually define you like that. So,
Well,
it's troubling, man.
Especially who you were as a 14-year-old shouldn't define you.
Exactly.
Like,
good God.
I don't know a single 14-year-old who is mature and makes great decisions all the time and never says or does anything stupid. So that's the first thing. Like with Josh Allen, yes, he said the N-word and he shouldn't have, but he's a 15-year-old listening to rap music, quoting his favorite songs. Like, what 15-year-old doesn't do that? And when you're a 14-year-old, which I think is even worse, I don't know why, I just have this thing in my mind that a 15-year-old is more mature than a 14-year-old, maybe because we let them drive a car. I don't know what it is, but for me, like, there's like a huge gap between 14 and 15, but you're saying a word that every single teenager uses at 14 when you're in middle school or freshman in high school. Like, I remember way back in the day when I was like a teenager all the way up until I was about maybe 22, 23, I used to say the F word, the homophobic F word, and I would never say it like because I hated gays or I despise gays. I've never once in my life thought ill of gay people. I've always been accepting. I've always been the type of person like, hey, you live your life, I live my life. It's cool. We're good people. High five. But I always used the F word because there was just a common way of using it to say, oh, that's stupid, or, you know, don't be stupid. Like, I always use it as like as a switch off for the word stupid. And I had a coworker who was gay, and she would hear me say it sometimes, like, or I would say like, oh, that's gay, as in, oh, that's stupid, or I would use the F word. And she didn't really call me out like, oh, I'm so offended by it. She just kind of was just curious. She's like, you know, it doesn't offend me, Chris, but you realize to a lot of gay people, like, the F word or saying that's gay is like almost as derogatory as using the N word. And I said, you know what? I never thought of it that way. I never had ill intentions of using that word or those words. But since you've pointed it out to me, I'll just take it out of my vernacular. I'll just take it out of my my dictionary in my mind. And I haven't used either word since I had that conversation. And I would feel like if anybody saw that I used to use that word when I was 18, 16, 17 and use it against me, I would feel like that would be like the most unfair, dumb thing to ever happen to me, because I've changed since I was 18 years old or since I had that conversation.
And I'm going to be honest with you. That's surprising because you were a nerd in school, bro. I'm just throwing it out there. Like,
what are you talking about?
Man,
you were a nerd,
vicious.
man.
I was-
You ran cross
okay.
country, bro. You ran cross
So wait,
country.
That doesn't
So
mean
wait,
he's a
running
nerd.
cross
Come
country
on.
makes you a nerd?
You ran cross country, and you were sort of a nerd. Dude.
You run far really well. That makes you a nerd. Forget that I've
I'm
read every
just saying,
single Harry Potter book.
And
know every single
Yeah,
spell.
what about that Dungeons
Harry
and
Potter
Dragons
does not
club you
make
were in
a
after
nerd.
school, Anthony?
Yeah.
Harry Potter does not make you a nerd. Don't
So,
go
Harry
there.
Potter doesn't make you a nerd.
Harry
but
Potter
running
was
cross country
extraordinary.
does.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just saying, you ran cross country. You were kind of a nerd in school, man. We went to school together. You don't have to lie
Okay.
to me, man. You
Okay.
weren't.
I
you
feel
were
like
cool with
Kyler.
me.
I feel
Hey.
like Kyler Murray now being
No,
misrepresented.
no,
in my past.
Being
I'm
misrepresented.
no. I'm just saying that's surprising to hear that you would use that. Like, if you told me that story in school, I'd be like, no, that. If somebody would have told me that in school about you, I'd be like, no, that Chris didn't say
Man,
that,
when I was
Chris
in,
is
especially
scared,
when I was in middle school, I used to have a mouth on me, man. That's
bro.
kind of why, like, huh, dude, you didn't know me in middle school. I used to have a mouth on me, and
Then
then
you were
high
in high school.
High school, I kind of toned it down a little bit. I mean, we don't have to go into my whole history of like my maturity when I matured.
I'm just saying
and everything else, but
this is about your street cred, and I'm telling you, you really didn't have any.
okay.
All right,
Hey,
this
I
has
love
gotten
you.
into a
You're
personal
still my
attack. I
friend.
love
I'm
it.
just saying you didn't have street cred.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, so
I still love you.
hey,
Apparently, you need street cred to use the words "gay" and the F word.
You know,
Okay.
I'm just saying, if somebody would have told me that about you, I wouldn't have believed them anyway. I'm like, that's not Chris. Chris wouldn't say stuff like that. What are you
Okay.
talking about?
Well,
Yeah, just-
I was there. I
Wow,
was there
this
more
is a
than
rabbit
you.
hole, huh?
Yeah, I was there more than you were there.
more
So
than-
I spent a little bit more time with myself than you did. So just take my word for
Yeah,
it.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
Well, gentlemen, we've got some tweets coming in. Ian Hall, who is a good listener of the show, he just tweeted at us a 64-team bracket for college football. I went ahead and retweeted it at our Twitter page, at Scout Team Radio. It has nothing to do with what conversation you two are having, but I figured it would be time to move on, and this would be the best time, if any, to mention that. So I don't know, man. 64 teams. It looks kind of exciting. I was just taking a look at it real quick. UCF would be going up against Buffalo. Okay, that's fun. The Florida Gators,
Okay.
they would be playing Ohio, not Ohio State. The other Ohio.
Oh, the Ohio Bobcats, man.
Bobcats?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be fun. First round would be fun. I don't see Florida State on this. Sorry, guys.
I wouldn't want to. Top 64? Nah, bro. Why would I want to see that? Come on,
I think
man.
we would need to go to like 128 team bracket to get there.
We're not. Shut up.
I think you're
We're
right.
probably like, we're probably
Even
like
then,
70. We're probably like 70.
even then, I think that FSU would have to do the play-in game.
We'd be 70. Shut up. So you have no street cred.
All right,
no street
well,
credit at all.
tune in after this commercial break. We'll talk about Willie Taggart's street cred. Hashtag.
Whoa.
Sorry,
Willie
I hit that
has
a little
street
too early.
cred, bro.
No street cred for Willie Taggart either.
Willie has street cred, man. Don't go there, man.
Anthony Mack is being placed on mute.
Did you know 40 points on your credit score could cost you $40,000 on a mortgage? Thankfully, Lexington Law is here to help. Since 1991, Lexington Law has helped over 500,000 customers take action on their credit reports. Call 877-910-7472 to talk to a repair specialist now. Personalized credit consultation is free. Getting access to your report is free. Plus free score evaluation with a recommended solution. Call now and get on the path to recovery. Call Lexington Law at 877-910-7472. That's 877-910-7472.
Oh, it's summertime. And what's that mean? We're all heading off to the golf course. But don't go too fast. Make sure you go to 12ouncesportsradio.com and book a tee time. At the bottom of any page, you'll see Book Like a Pro. Click that banner, enter your course of choice or zip code, find a tee time you like, book that tee time, and you'll get up to 50% off, courtesy of 12-Ounce Sports Radio. Book like a pro, even if you don't play like one.
Ring Central features all-in-one phone, messaging, and video conferencing. It's easy to use with unparalleled security. Ring Central simplifies things so you can grow. Call Ring Central to speak with a representative about a price for your growing business at 877-779-3860. Again, that's 877-779-3860.
Yeah, welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. We come at you hot and live each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. and again at 11 a.m. on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. Make sure you check the live show. But if you are unable to catch the live show, you can go back and listen to all of the old episodes. You can catch us at scoutteamradio.com. Or if you want to download the podcast, you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or anywhere a podcast can be found. We also like getting social. We were getting lots of great tweets from Ian Hall this morning from 12-Ounce Sports Radio, and Ian is giving us great information. But anybody, any of our listeners, everybody out there, you can hit us up on Twitter at Scout Team Radio, and we will read your tweets on the air. We will talk about your topics. We will do all of that stuff. So make sure you hit us up. We love being social. And with that being said, maybe we'll put out a Twitter poll. Who has more street cred, Chris America or Slick Willie T?
Willie T.
All right, said by the true FSU fan. Wow, that fan base is really getting behind that coach. Boy, they have a lot of good reasons to be excited about that guy.
Hey, listen.
I know.
Listen, don't mess with Willie T and his street cred. All right, I'm telling you, it's way more than Chris America and Sullen Mullen over there. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. All right.
Oh, whatever, man. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're still debating this.
We're not.
So I have a
debating
question
anymore.
for you,
Move
Anthony
on.
Mack. Anthony Mack, you got to get into this conversation. I know you love baseball. So if you're Kyler Murray,
Yeah.
you are the Heisman Trophy guy. Would you go with baseball or football? I mean, he got drafted in the top 10 in baseball, but he's the Heisman winner for football. Which one would you, what would you do if it were you, if you were this guy, Kyler Murray?
Well, as a kid, I can't really say anything because I chose football over baseball, and from my personal experience, I ended up with 2 bad knees and bad back and all that good stuff. If I had to do it all over again, like my son, I try to get my son to weigh out options. I would do baseball all over. If I had a chance, I would do baseball. You can play baseball till you're 50. You know, it's as a business standpoint, baseball just makes more sense, man. You could do it longer, less injury. I mean, you still can get some injuries, but less injury. No, almost zero chance of concussion. You know, so if I had to do it all over again, I would do baseball. If I'm advising this young man, football to me is a more exciting sport. I love football, but for longevity, for business sense, he should play baseball. Absolutely.
I have to agree with you, and I think he's leaning that way too. I mean, but think about it, being the superstar quarterback, I mean, that's got something a little special to it. I mean, it's not like he's playing cornerback or safety or even wide receiver. Like, the quarterback is always the man. Does that change your thought on that at all?
Like I said, as a kid, yes, football is where I want to be, you know, but as an adult who, like I said, has multiple injuries from football, if I'm advising him, I'm saying go play baseball. If football is something you want to do 5 years from now, try to come back and do it then. But go play baseball. Go enjoy yourself. That's the best advice I have, man. I know that's not the most exciting answer in the world, but I have
That's
2
okay,
bad
man.
knees. I
That's
got 2
okay.
bad knees from football, no ACLs. So, yeah, if I had to do it all over again, and if I was advising him, I'd say, hey, go play baseball for a couple of years, man. You know, so yeah, he's making the right. I think if he plays baseball, he's making the right choice. Plus, you got to realize he's only 5'9". I'm not putting anything against anybody because if you put your mind to it, you can become and do anything you want to be. So if he wants to play football, by all means, I think he'll be an exciting player to watch in the NFL. But yeah, there's nothing wrong.
So you
with
heard it
going
here
all the way.
first. Anthony Mack hates short people.
I'm shorter than Kyler Murray. You're shorter
Breaking
than Kyler
news.
Murray, Jackrabbit.
Who?
You.
How you say he's 5'9"? You think I'm shorter than 5'9"? Have you
Yeah,
ever
you're
met
not.
me in person?
Yeah, I met you. Yeah. You know,
I'm not like
look.
the tallest man in the world, but I'm 6 foot. I'm well above
Are you?
5'9". Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so when I played football, we went. I have an old friend that came down and he showed us all these pictures that him and his dad took all throughout our whole career. And I was looking, I was like, hold up, that guy has my number. And he was like, that's you. And I looked over and I was, whoa, that is me. Man, was I that short? Yeah. He's like, you've been the same height since 6th grade. I was like, oh, okay. I have a size perception, I guess.
Okay, that's what
disease.
she said.
I think I'm the big.
Yep, that's what she said.
I think I'm
Hey,
the
guys,
biggest
I think
thing
we
on
have
the
a
earth. You know what I'm saying? We're
Hey,
gonna what?
I hear something. What was that?
Who is that?
Hey, guys. It's
Wow,
me,
we have a
Willie
caller in on the
Taggart.
line. Welcome on, caller.
Oh, dude, hang up on that clown. Hang up on him.
Hey, guys, I heard you talking about my street cred. Just wanted to call in and, give you a little Willie T's background,
Hang up
Me
on
and
that
the
guy. It's
fellas.
not Willie T.
Me and the fellas, we used to TP houses, but don't worry, we cleaned it up before anybody found out. But we just, we'd like to TP houses and get a little couple of giggles in, and then we would clean it up like, But we were in a gang too, man. We would meet out in my fella's basement. His name was Eugene. Me and Eugene, we go way back, and we used to meet down in his basement. We rolled as a gang of Dungeons and Dragons, man. So my street cred is definitely credible. Willie T out.
Wow, that's some hot street cred. Wow.
I swear to God.
Oh my God, that was
I
really
swear.
interesting. Oh
I
man,
swear.
I think we should put up
I
a poll.
swear,
Who
man.
has more street cred, Snuffleupagus or Willie T? I'm pretty sure it's not Willie T.
You guys have no idea. But okay, I got you. Look up where Willie T grew up at. I'm just throwing it out there. I want you to look up where he grew up at. Palmetto, Florida. Okay, just look it up.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
So, all right. Like I mentioned, we do get some tweets out here, and Ian Hall, he tweeted a topic at us. He said, did Michael Jordan just daddy slap Malik Monk last night? Michael Jordan is owning this right now. If you see this video, it was retweeted out at Scout Team Radio. You got to check it out. Michael Jordan, he's like, you know what? I'm everybody's daddy. I can daddy slap whoever the hell I want out here on the court because I'm Michael Jordan. I'm the best of all time. And yes, he did just daddy slap him. And you know what? I have nothing wrong about that. But I do have something that I want to say is wrong, and that is Kevin Durant comes out and he makes a bold NBA statement, and he says Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are the two best players of all time. And he says, don't at me.
Boy.
Now, I made up that last part about the don't at me. But why does Kevin Durant hate LeBron James so much? I think it's a jealousy thing. Do you think he's coming out and saying that just to throw shade on LeBron James, or do you think he really believes Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are the two best players of all time? Come on, Anthony Mack, what do you think?
Some people still believe Kobe's top three, man. It's a fact. People still believe Kobe's top three, and I can't fault him for it. I mean, Kobe was exciting to watch. He was a good player. So, sorry, getting choked up here.
Oh, don't cry about
Michael
Kobe.
Jordan and Kobe.
Don't cry. Remember when LeBron
Look.
and Dwayne Wade played their last game? I cried. It's okay. Let your feelings out. You don't
I
have any
hear ya.
street cred anyway.
I have plenty of street cred. But no, man, I think people still believe Kobe's the top three. And they have a right to believe that. I mean, we've already gone over and proven that he's kind of not, but some people still believe he's top three. Durant might. I mean, if you grew up in the 2000s, which Durant kind of did, Kobe was the man back then. He was absolutely the man, straight from high school, doing things that hell only Jordan was doing at the time. So no, man, he probably honestly believes it. You know what I'm saying? Right now.
So you don't think he's trying to throw shade on LeBron at all?
I mean, in the past, that's what he's done. But I mean, it could be. It very well could be. But I think
No, it definitely
growing
is.
up
It's
in
not
that-
it very well could be. He
You think
is
so?
trying to. Why would you even come out and say that? Like, there is no reason why. I would say, though, when you have a big loss up against the Raptors, I think he said it before this loss happened, but still, the Warriors lose to the Raptors without Kawhi. He needs to make sure that everybody's distracted. Why not? The Warriors think they're on top of the world. He's talking about statues. He's talking about being the most iconic team ever. And then now he's talking about how LeBron, the only other person that can go in with Kyrie Irving and actually steal a championship from the Golden State Warriors, he's talking about how he's not one of the two greatest of all time. If he would have put in, I don't know, I just think that the timing and the reason why he did it all was to slant on LeBron James, and I don't think that was right. And I think KD needs to just get over himself. Kevin Durant needs to just stop talking and get back in line and get his Warriors playing better because they did not look good last night.
That's all fine and then. He also said the Warriors have arrived too. So, I mean, not the Warriors, but he also said Toronto has arrived too. So, I mean, he was talking a lot of stuff. I'm serious though. I'm not gonna hold it against him, man. KD. Plus, it's a competition factor, man. I mean, if I'm playing with a guy, I'm not gonna say, he's the second greatest of all time. I'm playing against him currently. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a competition factor.
But why even say it at all? Why did he say it?
Maybe it is trash talking getting in his head. But I do know this. KD will never be one of the top.
You don't think he'll ever be
20.
in that conversation?
Yeah, he's already. There's a lot of people that think KD's the second best player in the league.
I don't think he is, though.
But this is
I know you don't
conversation
think
with
all
Jordan
time.
and
No,
Kobe.
he'll never be all time.
All time?
No.
I
thought
top 20.
I thought you
You
meant
think
like
all time
in the
top
league
25
currently.
for him?
When you got Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq,
Who?
Muggsy Bogues.
you got. I mean,
Don't
of
forget
course,
about Purvis.
MJ and Kobe. You
Don't
got
forget about
you got
Purvis.
some names out there that
In
he would
Parrish.
have to do something. I don't know. He'd have to do something different and incredible the rest of his career
Listen.
that would set him apart. I don't think he'd ever be there.
But he's not top 25, right?
Hold
I'm
on.
just throwing it out there. Is he top 25?
Yeah, he'll be top 25, but he won't be top 3 because as long as Evan Fournier is in the world and exists, he can't make top 3.
Something's wrong with you, man.
But I will ask you guys this.
Go ahead.
So, all the NBA records are fairly equal between the top 8 teams. Do you think we finally have hope for a competitive playoff in the NBA? Do you think the league has kind of evened itself out a little bit this year?
No,
I think it's. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was just gonna say I don't think Golden State is equal with everybody. I still think with the talent on the team, they're still head and shoulders above. Their record doesn't display it. The way they played last night with Durant, Curry, Clay, and Draymond all on the court, and they got smacked and lost 20 points to a Kawhi-less Toronto Raptors. They're not playing to that level, but once the playoffs come around, the Warriors, to me, are still head and shoulders above everybody and still scary. I don't think it's evened out, and the only difference now is LeBron is not in the East, so the East is wide open, but it's still going to have to be that path through Golden State.
I mean, right now, Golden State is 9-6 in the conference this season.
That's fine.
They haven't been good. They just haven't been.
I mean, they've been good. They're 19-10. They just haven't been Warriors good, the Warriors that we know.
To me, it's a show. The NBA has always been sort of entertainment, especially in the last couple of years. I think Golden State knows what they have. I think they know that they can pull it together. And I think they're just, let's take it easy. We'll win when we got to win. In big games, maybe we'll lose one or two there, and we'll keep it moving. I don't know if that's coming from league office or Toronto. I mean, or Golden State themselves, but I don't know. I think it's all a show.
I think that's what we want now, though. I think we want a show. I was thinking this yesterday as I was watching a couple of hockey games, and I want to get into hockey. I want to, it's a fun sport to watch, but I was sitting here thinking, I know none of these guys, and where's the storylines? Where's this guy is talking trash about that guy, and these two teams hate each other because of this, and I'm sure that exists in the hockey world, but the NHL just doesn't put that out there. They don't promote it. They don't display it. It's just, hey, the Calgary Flames played the Flyers, and that's basically the score was 4-2. This guy had 50 saves. That's all fine and good, and I know hockey fans love that, and it's the same with baseball. There's no storylines in baseball. The best storyline in baseball is the New York Yankees versus Boston Red Sox rivalry. Outside of that, what are the story? The other storylines is, where is Bryce Harper going to go? You can only run that story so many times, where the NBA and the NFL, they just promote storylines way better. They make it way more interesting.
So I don't watch a lot of TV, but I saw a commercial the other day, and I think it was for the Magic versus the Celtics. And that hype video made that game seem like it was the end of all games. Like it was the best, like and this is what the NBA does. They put out the best hype videos you can imagine. Like almost better than the NFL almost. And I like football way more than I like basketball. But I'm sitting there watching this and I'm like, holy crap, the Orlando Magic versus the Boston Celtics. I want to watch that game. I want to get excited for that game. And then I go through and I look at the rosters and the records and I'm like, why would I watch that game?
I'm sure they sold it to like 2 playoff teams are squaring up for Eastern Conference supremacy. Watch as Vucevic.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Luke. Watch as Vucevic
back in the
takes on
voice.
Kyrie Irving in a scoring shootout where
And it
only
was-
one can survive.
Yeah, just like
And
that,
it-
but 10
it-
times better.
It was something like
Yes.
it was something like that, and it was just like, holy crap, man! I want to watch that game. So the NBA does an incredible job of marketing. I mean,
Where
they've
hockey's
been
like,
doing it for the last. Yeah,
hey,
hey, we're
check
on
out-
at 8:00.
check out Calgary and Boston at 8.
I also think that Charles Barkley and Shaq on the TNT broadcast.
Oh man, that makes it 10
so
times
much
better.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
entertaining.
They're the Fox of NBA. They're the Fox pregame show of NBA. I love watching those guys. So yeah, man.
Fox
They
pregame show. You're big on the Fox pregame, huh?
who do you watch?
I don't watch any of
I don't
them.
watch
I think
any.
they're all
Yeah.
garbage.
Pre-game's garbage.
I like
I don't
Terry
even watch.
Bradshaw.
I don't even watch.
I like
don't
Terry
watch
Bradshaw.
CNTs. I don't watch CNTs either. I'll just wait for Charles and Shaq to do something enough for where it ends up on my Twitter feed, and then I'll watch it then.
They're entertaining. Hey, we're talking about big epic matchups. You're talking about Boston versus Orlando. Well, that's not a big epic matchup.
Just not
Yes, it
Tonight in the NFL, we have a big epic Thursday night football matchup. You guys
this
excited for
is
some
a big
Chiefs versus
matchup.
Chargers?
Yes,
This is when I'm going to
Yes.
take a nap and I'm going to stay up and watch the whole game.
yes. Take your nap.
The
Make
old
sure
man
you
napping.
drink some
At me.
coffee.
You,
Yes,
you can
I'm
at me
excited
all
for this
night.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, Phillip Rivers and Patrick Mahomes against 2 defenses that only had 2 or 3 days to prepare. Count me in for it.
Yeah, this should be an exciting matchup. You know, some people still believe that Rivers should be in that MVP conversation. I know Mahomes is at the top, and then you got Breeze after him. But Rivers is right up there, maybe 3rd or 4th in that discussion for MVP this year. So you could be seeing 2 of the best top quarterbacks in all of the NFL just going at it tonight. So must-see TV.
Thursday night games have been actually pretty decent this year.
No, they've
Most
done a
of
good night with a good job with the Thursday night games. I completely agree with you. And I know we're going to be excited about watching this game tonight, but just a little bit of news in the NFL that could change this playoff picture that we talked about earlier in the week. Carson Wentz looks like he's having back problems, and they say that he could miss the rest of the year.
Yes.
Is it time for the Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles to take the reins, take over this team, and maybe bring this team back into that playoff picture?
We've been saying that for
Quote,
weeks.
Back injuries.
He doesn't buy it.
What do you
I
think,
know
it's
I
a
don't buy
fake
the back
injury.
I do not buy the back injury at all, man. Like, once again, storylines and everything. Like, you don't want to say, hey, look, we set the Super Bowl winner for Carson Wentz because he was the man, and now all of a sudden he's not the man. So we got to go back to the guy who won the Super Bowl for us. That's not a storyline you want to put out there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy the back injury.
Conspiracy
I don't.
theory.
Yeah, I don't buy the back injury at all. Like, and I never wish this on any player, so I'm knock on wood. Like, if so, Wentz dresses up, Foles goes out there and he bombs the first half, or he gets injured. All of a sudden, Wentz is feeling better and he's back in the game. I don't buy it, man. I don't believe it at all.
It's like the
Now-
old Fitzpatrick, Jameis Winston trick.
I got another question.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take this a different route. What happens if Foles goes in and he sweeps the rest of the record and wins another Super Bowl MVP? What do they do
Wentz
with
is getting
Wentz
traded.
and Foles?
Wentz is getting traded, man. Wentz is you're getting traded.
Oh, you got to
Come on, you're not going to sit a
started the
two-time Super Bowl winner.
Huh? What did you
I was
say,
gonna say,
Loudbeard?
I said Foles started the season, and
Well,
he
he
didn't
started the
look
season
that
because
hot.
of injury. I
Right,
mean,
he did
looked
because
okay.
of injury.
Him
Yeah.
and Wentz looked about the same. I mean, he
About
won
the
games.
same.
He won
true.
games.
It's true.
I think they
I
had a
don't know,
winning record
this has
when
been a
Wentz
weird
took over.
season for the Eagles. Weird season,
Yeah.
and with the back injury, maybe that's why Wentz isn't playing that hot. Last year he was an MVP caliber guy, and now this year he just looks like he's a Nathan Peterman. I don't know what to say.
Those knee injuries, man, they can shake a quarterback. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater was on his way to becoming the franchise quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, and now where is he? He's nowhere to be found in the NFL.
Nowhere.
I couldn't even tell you where he's at right now.
Third string
Also-
in New Orleans.
Okay.
Also, didn't this happen to Foles though? Except for the winning of the Super Bowl when he first came in, he was on fire. He got injured. They sat him.
I don't think he got injured. I think
No, he went.
Chip
they just
Kelly
said
to
him.
Jeff
traded him.
Fisher's Rams.
Chip Kelly just said, "Hey, you played a lot better than I thought you would, and I'm going to trade you." And that's what he did.
Yep.
Chip
Jeff
Kelly
Fisher
just
really
made-
ran him into the ground.
Chip Kelly just made one bad move after the other. But I have a promo for tonight's football game. Tune in tonight for some NFL action as Patrick Mahomes goes into L.A. and to rip out the hearts of the 5 Charger fans that are there. Or will Phillip Rivers burn down the playoff hopes of the Chiefs? Tune in Thursday Night Football. Yeah.
That's an awesome.
Now you're pumped.
promo. Hey, we didn't talk about Mason Foster.
For good reason.
Kyle.
F that guy.
No, that's a horrible reason.
You didn't bring him up, man. You're just talking about Willie T's street cred, which everybody knows is not there.
Palmetto, Florida. Check it out.